Day 2 here at Paul Ricard for round number 2 of the 2020 International GTOpen Series. Welcome everybody, my name's Chris McCarthy. A pleasure to have you along once again this weekend. Temperatures already rising. It's going to be another scorcher here in France. And we're about to get underway for a 30-minute qualifying session to set the grid for race number 2 later on. It will be a 60-minute race later. We had a 70-minute race yesterday, and no Bentleys. You can see 2 of them coming down the straight now. Bentley's quite predominant looking cars, aren't they? Neither of those guys finished yesterday, so they have a lot of work to do today. Well, if you missed yesterday's race, I'll just bring you up to speed with exactly what happened. It was TF Sport who took the win. Sally Ulick taking his 6th win in the championship. Charlie Eastwood was the driver who went out for qualifying and then got himself around about a 9-second lead he got in the end, before handing over to Sally Ulick, who doubled that up, and those guys went on to take a comfortable victory, their first of the season, following on from their podium from round number 1. And that makes them joint championship leaders with Miguel Ramos and Enrique Chavez. A little bit early to pay too much attention to the championship. We are only on round number 2 of 6, but nevertheless, it is a very good start from a TF Sport team. An even better performance in some ways from the team who finished in 2nd place, Optimum Motorsport, Nick Moss and Joe Osborne on his first race this season. The Pro-Am team finishing 2nd overall, holding off the joint championship leaders, Enrique Chavez and Miguel Ramos, towards the end of the race. Likewise, Louis Pret and Vincent Abriel, who have been race winners this season. Those guys putting in an absolutely fantastic performance to go and finish 2nd overall and win the Pro-Am class. The podium was rounded out by Miguel Ramos and Enrique Chavez. Then just off the podium, Louis Pret and Vincent Abriel. Behind that, it was an Optimum Motorsport 1-2 in the Pro-Am class. Brilliant performances from Brendan Irib, who continues to get quicker and quicker in that car, alongside Ollie Milroy, who went out and qualified yesterday. Brendan's going to be in the car for them, so definitely watch out for those guys. Patrick Kaprinsky and Christian Klein finished 3rd to take yet another podium in the championship and in the Pro-Am class. Marcelo and Christian Hahn, great to see them racing together in the Teo Martin Motorsport car. They finished 4th overall with Pro-Am, 7th in the overall standings. And then another standout performance from Florian Schultz and Jens Liebhauser, who came charging up the order. Florian Schultz particularly putting in some fantastic overtaking moves throughout the race. They won the AM class for the 3rd race in a row. They're yet to be beaten in AM this season. They get speed performance number 44. Alexander Mosiv and Alexei Nezov drove a very good end to the race. Alexei in for the end of the race to pass Nicky Luttweiler for 2nd on the last lap. Although they didn't actually overtake Nicky Luttweiler, they closed the gap by more than enough to pass Nicky Luttweiler after the flag had gone out when he received his 3-second penalty for a pit stop infringement. Didn't serve his full handicap. Stefan Ortelli and Angelo Negro were then 11th. Valentin Pierberg and Christian Hook, not a good return to the championship for Valentin. Christian Hook having a spin at the start of the race, and then things just continued to go to bad to worse for them. They finished 12th overall. But speaking of bad to worse, it was a real day to forget for Team Lazarus. Petru Umberescu and Stefano Coletti, after they were doing their driver swap, just didn't return basically to the track. So they are yet to finish a race this season. And Fabrizio Castani and Yannick Mettler, who didn't actually do testing on Friday, they had power steering issues all day. More issues just seemed to be arising for them. They did not finish. Team Lazarus, again, a team who were caught up in first lap dramas as well. So it's just been a real weekend to forget for them so far. And there you can see on screen the number 28, the car that is yet to finish a race. Stefano Coletti is going to be in the car for them this morning in qualifying. Monegasque driver, Formula FIA F2 driver, tested in F1 as well, Stefano Coletti, and he's purple through Sector 1 as well. He is absolutely flying at the moment. It's a real shame because coming into this season, Stefano Coletti, as he locks up going into turn 8, he was one of the entries when you looked at it and went, I can't wait to see how he gets on. What an exciting name that is to have in the championship, and yet we are yet to see how well he can actually go and do. He just hasn't been able to get that car to the flag so far, as he goes purple through sector 2. Now, he was running second in the very first race of the season, and then he was turned round by Fabian Schiller going through the penultimate corner at the Hungaroring. That wasn't really his fault, but then the Petrol Rescue had a spin and the car didn't get going again. So, real shame for Lazarus so far. It's the first full season the Bentley's having, and it's not exactly a car that you would expect to just keep breaking down on them. It's, you know, we've seen it go well in other GT endurance series, so it's a real shame to see them having such problems, but there is time for things to change, and let's hope they can turn things around as now they head up to the line. And Enrique Chavez so far, 2:01.9 for him. Is Stefano Coletti about to beat that as he comes across the line? We'll wait for the timing screen to update. There it goes, 2:02.5. So again, looking up the tyres there, there's Stefano Coletti. At the Teo Martin Motorsport 59. This is the car that is currently quickest. Enrique Chavez in for them today. You can see the glare on the track as the sun is still on its way up here at Paul Ricard, and that's going to make visibility for the drivers quite difficult, you know, especially around Paul Ricard, where, let's be honest, everything kind of looks the same around here, doesn't it? It's not like you've got gravel and grass around the side of the track, so it's quite easy to pick out your apex. Sometimes it looks like there's about 4 different apexes when you're coming into a corner, so it can be quite a tricky circuit to drive in that sense. Now, going through the championship, I'll quickly bring you up to speed while the cars are still sort of warming themselves up here as we look at the Teo Martin Motorsport number 59 joint championship leader. So Eastwood and Ulick for TF Sport joint championship leaders with Miguel Ramos and Enrique Chavez. Behind that it is Louis Pret and Vincent Abril for AF Corsa. Then it's Christian Klein and Patrick Kaprinsky for JP Motorsport on 22 points. Marcelo Harness 20 points, Alan Coder 16 because he's not here this weekend. Then it's Nick Moss in 7th place because he has a new teammate this weekend in Joe Osborne. He's 7th. Max and Fabian Schiller are 8th. Joe Osborne is 9th, having just done 1 race. And Ollie Milroy is then in 10th place. Looking at the other classes, Pro-Am is being led by Marcelo Hahn by 1 point ahead of Klein and Kaprinsky. Alan Coder is third, just 2 points back. And then in the AM class, 4 points so far, full 30-point score for Florian Schultz and Jens Liebhauser. They lead from Nicky Luttweiler with Alexander Mosey and Alexei Nezov in third. They have 18 points, just 4 points back from Nicky Luttweiler. So we're almost approaching a third of the way into this qualifying session then around Paul Ricard. Stefan Ortelli in the car. We are going to have handicaps added on as ever into the pit stops when we get there later on. So looking at Stefan Ortelli, they're going to be one of the teams that don't actually have one, so they've got a real chance of a good result here today. Pro-Am team just do with a bit of a better qualifying, and so far it's not too bad for them. They are leading the way. Stefan Ortelli in the car, the pro driver in that team, as they make their way now round towards the final corner, through the left and into the right. Now out of the final corner, start finish straight. They go up towards the start finish line. And what time is it they're going to do? They only have themselves to beat at the moment, and they've got even quicker. 2:01.046. Half a second back, it's Enrique Chavez. He's in the pits. Stefano Coletti is third. He's 7/10 back. And it's Yannick Mettler in 4th place for Lazarus Racing. They are third and 4th. 1.1 seconds back is Yannick Mettler. Christian Hahn is in 5th place. Valentin Pierreberg is 6th. Jens Liebhauser 7th. The 2 AM drivers there, 6th and 7th, only split by 0.3 of a second, as Nick Moss now goes up into 6th place, 2nd yesterday overall. Brendan Irib, who continues to improve in his car, he is in 9th place. Then it's Nicky Luttweiler, who can't stop finishing in 2nd in GT Cup Open Europe, and he's having similar around here this weekend. He's always getting podiums in AM. but just searching for some more victories is Nicky Lutweiler. Patrick Kaprinski is 11th, and it's Alexei Nezov, Vincent Abril, Sally Ulick yet to set their respectable times. As I can just see the Optimum Constant that was heading back out onto circuit. Coming across the line though, this is the Lazarus Racing team. They go across the line. Stefano Coletti in the pits for them. This is Yannick Mettler. You can see out on circuit now. As I said, Nicky Lutweiler in search of his first victory of the season. He currently sits in 3rd place in AM class there, in 11th overall. This Yannick Mettler, currently in 4th place. He was quickest through the 2nd sector last time round. He's within a second now of Stefan Ortelli as he makes his way. This turn 7 leads him on to the back straight. So a very important section is that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Leads you onto this long back straight. You can see ahead of him one of the Mercedes cars. He'll be just slightly concerned about that, hoping that that car's going to get out of the way for him. It's the number 13 of Alexei Nezov, that is. Yannick Mettler just behind. Might give him a target to chase, but he won't want it to stay there for too long, and that is Alexei Nezov actually pulling over and allowing the Lazarus car to go through. We look now at one of the Optimum Motorsport cars. This is Nick Moss coming up to the line. Personal best of personal best. Is he going to go any quicker as he comes across the line? He stays in 6th place, does Nick Moss, but it was a personal best lap, 2:03.054 as we go on board with Vincent Abril. This is coming up to turn 11, perhaps the trickiest corner on the track. Double apex corner, that's the first apex. Let the car run out and then come back for 2nd apex there. Now you've got to head up towards turn 12. Very hard to get an entry point into here. Slightly early turning point for Vincent Abril. Keep the car tight, wait, now get the power down as he comes through round turn 13, up towards turn 14. Long left-hander this once again. Sacrifice all your speed through here, keep the car left. Now open up through the final corner, one of the most important corners on the track. Get the power down, use all the runoff and a little bit more. And now Vincent Abril charges towards the line. This is first real time we're going to see in this session as he heads up to the start-finish line. Where's he going to go? He's going to go fastest. Vincent Abril to the top of the times. 2:08.14, just over 2/10 quicker than Stefan Ortelli. Brilliant from Vincent Abril as he now makes his way down towards turn 3. Downhill entry point this, charging downhill now through the right. Take a lot of speed through here. Got to be tight now through turn number 4. Keep the car over to the left once again. Open up 5. Again, run wide here at 5 because you've got to open up turn 6 now. And again, long right-hander. Very hard to get this one wrong. Now through turn 7. Flat out through there as we can hear now onto the back straight. And wait till you get towards turn number 8. This now back to Enrique Chavez in the Terra Martin Motorsport car. He is also going quicker, so this is the point in the session now where we're really starting to see the times change. We've got a good few drivers in the pits, as you can see to the left-hand side of your screen, but this Enrique Chavez trying to take that pole position away from Vincent Abril. So far, so good for him. Purple sector needs to find over 7.5 tenths of a second as he now makes his way towards the final couple of corners. Enrique Chavez looks a tidy lap from what we've seen. We've only seen a few corners of it, but before that it was 2 purple sectors, so I'd say he's looking good so far as he comes out of the final corner. Now down towards the start-finish straight. Is this going to be enough? And if so, by how much as he goes across the line? Let's have a look. Enrique Chavez sets a time of a 1:59.998. That is 8 tenths to the good over Vincent Abril. Fantastic time there, but here is Abril, and he's trying to fight back. Hasn't been able to go quicker than Chavez through the first 2 sectors, but can he make time through the last one? Out of the final corner, here he comes. Vincent Abril up to the start-finish line. Is he able to take that pole position back again from Enrique Chavez? We go on board with him now as he comes across the line, and he's only able to find a couple of tenths, so 6 tenths he brings the gap down to, and we may see Vincent Abril take a trip to the pits here. There he comes out through turns 1 and 2. And Vincent Abril and Enrique Chavez fighting with each other. However, Sally Ulick, we have seen Sally Ulick set a time, but you'd expect it to be a little bit quicker than that. He's down in 7th, so I don't think they've really got that car up to speed yet. I mean, we did hear Charlie Eastwood talking in his interview yesterday how he went out at the start of the session just to bed the brakes in, get the car up to temperature, if you like. Then he threw the tyres on, and bang, that was it. As soon as he put those on, he was 7/10 to the good over anyone else. Say 7/10, it was 7/10 for most of the session before Christian Klein went out, and he finished second in yesterday's qualifying session. But let's go back to Enrique Chavez, because he looks like he could improve his time and extend his gap over Vincent Abriel. Quickest through sector 1, beating his own personal best. Not quite able to match his best through sector 2. What can he do through sector 3? Enrique Chavez putting in some really good times here as he comes now around. He's just getting a little bit loose there through turn 14. He's giving it everything he can, isn't he, as he comes up towards the start-finish line. 1:59.998 is his own time to beat, and he's not going to do it, I don't think. Let's see as he comes across the line. We're having just a little bit of a delay there. No, so he did give it a go. Now this might be why he didn't beat it. Oh, he's getting a little bit loose coming into turn 11. And there is the reason where Enrique Chavez lost his time, running too wide through turn 11. This is SPS Automotive. Real day to forget for them yesterday. Valentin Pierreberg is in the car for them today, and this much better. Green backgrounds and white numbers are AM class drivers. So looking down the left-hand side of your screen, the red backgrounds are the pros, the blue backgrounds are the pro-AMs, and then the AMs are the green backgrounds. So you can see Pierreberg, green background number 27th, and then 44, 10th place. Liebhauser is the next AM driver, the team that is unbeaten. This is the team that's probably most likely to beat them, if anyone will, this weekend, is out of the final caller, Valentin Pierreberg. Vice champions last year in Pro-Am. Now they're dropped to 9th place. Oh, back to 7th, there we go. So Pierreberg does sit in 7th place. Did briefly drop to 9th. I don't know if that was a deletion of a time due to track limits, which is very possible. Yes, it was. So car 20 did have their time deleted at turn 5. Turn 5 is coming up very shortly. This is turn 3. Four's the left-hander. Now this is where he would have had his time deleted at turn 5. We'll go back to that because this is Yannick Mettler, who is on a personal best in that Bentley. They really need a good result here today, Lazarus Racing. What I would say is they're going to be doing up to 95 seconds. 100 seconds is the maximum. Coming up to the line, Yannick Mettler. So that's where Lazarus Racing do have a chance today, if they can make it to the end. And if they can start 3rd place, then they've got a really good chance, haven't they? Yannick Mettler goes to 3rd, 2 minutes, 0.715. Brilliant stuff there from Lazarus Racing. Now the same is going to be had for TF Sport, because they did a 75-second pit stop yesterday. That's going to rise up today. It's going to go up to roughly 90 to 95 seconds after that win. So Charlie Eastwood and Sally Ulick are definitely going to have it tough today. And that is the beauty of the handicap system. Any of you that watched the race yesterday, and I was saying it during yesterday's race, there was always that session. There's always that time when the pit stop window opens, you're completely unaware of who is exactly where, and then once all the pit stops are done, then you have the drivers that are chasing, and they're maybe a lap quicker and 20 seconds to chase, and they're doing it at a rapid rate. Then you've got the reverse system, drivers that are just trying to hold on, and by the end, as you would have seen if you watched it yesterday, so many battles were going on, and it was really exciting to watch. Edge of the seat stuff, as it always is in International GT Open. So Chavez and Abriel are in the pits. This is the highest team up the order that is still out on track, as Nicky Luttweiler has just gone up to 9th place and 2nd in class. But this Yannick Mettler, he hasn't gone quicker through the first 2 sectors, by the way. He's gone slower, so he may bail into the pits. I think he might have just come out, actually, so this might be him warming himself up. Let's have a look. Is he going to come in? No, so he's staying out. So I think this is just a warming up couple of laps now for Yannick Mettler. Of course, he has just gone up to 3rd. He's taken a breather potentially on this lap. Now he's going to go for it again on this lap as he comes across the line to start another lap. 2:08 that time. Well, he wasn't much slower. I say that. He was only a 10th off his fastest lap. Salih Ulik, let's see what he can do. Turkish driver. He'll become the first ever Turkish driver to race at the Le Mans 24-hour. Salih Ulik has had wins already in the FI World Endurance Championship. Salih Ulik taking another win in the championship yesterday. It was his 6th win in the championship and his 9th podium overall. He's won a lot over the years. Dubai 24-hour champion as well is Salih Ulik, but he's really flown the flag for his home country, taking wins at places like Fuji, Shanghai, Kota this year as well in the FI World Endurance Championship. But he will become the first Turkish driver at the Le Mans 24-hour. And he's the first Turkish winner in the FI World Endurance Championship as well. But he and Charlie Eastwood have formed a great relationship over the years. They've raced together now for a few years, just got better and better. That's really important within a team, to know your teammate really well, work together, because if you have a new teammate, often a team will set the car up for one driver and the other driver just has to go with it. But if you both know each other well and you've raced with each other a lot, you could adapt your driving styles ever so slightly just so the car suits both of you. And I think that's what Salih Ulik and Charlie Eastwood really has. But I have to say, Charlie Eastwood was absolutely rapid yesterday. Really, really impressive. Was the Northern Irishman. As we look now at Salih Ulik once again, let's see what he's doing through sector 1. He's done a personal best. He's done a 33.4. That's a pretty quick time. It's not purple, but it's his quickest. Oh dear, but that's a mistake. So that's this lap gone. So too wide through turn 8, and you can just see how much that's going to hurt him coming out of turn 9. So is actually Stefano Coletti in the Bentley. Wait to see what he can do. He's getting himself warmed up, I think, for an attempt at a pole lap. And Salih Ulik, you look to the bottom of your screen, you can see he was 4 tenths quicker, green 4 tenths. Then he's gone 1.4 seconds slower. So that's how far off he is. Let's have a look at this. So he's just got it wrong coming into the braking zone. He's gone too wide, and at that point he knew, well, that's this lap gone. Might as well back off. Don't put too much on the tyres and get ready for another lap. So this is now Nicky Luttweiler, excuse me, that we can see coming up to the final corner. He's second in class. Favourite position for him as he now makes his way down the start-finish line. He's trailing Stefano Coletti there. That's who he has in front of him to chase down as he comes across the line now, Nicky Luttweiler, and he's going to stay 9th. It's a personal best, but he stays 9th and second in class. So not bad for Nicky Luttweiler. 59-year-old. Great to see him out there, and he's racing on his own as well. I know we've mentioned that a lot, but it's just hugely impressive for someone to do it all on his own, to be one of the oldest drivers in the field and then doing it all on his own. Seriously impressive stuff from Nicky Luttweiler, who's been around for a number of years now. He's won a lot on the way as well. This is Vincent Abril. Now he's got a chance here to take pole away from Enrique Chavez. He's only 2 tenths off Enrique Chavez. He was quicker than Chavez through the first sector. He's only a couple of tenths off, so at the moment he's on to bring that gap right down from 6 tenths of a second. Let's see if he's been able to go any quicker through the final sector. On board we go now on the Ferrari as it comes across the line. Is he able to improve? There he goes across the line, and the gap comes right down. So he's found time through the third sector. He was 0.19 off through sector 2. He's brought that gap down to 0.16 through the final sector. Vincent Abril getting closer and closer now, and I think Enrique Chavez in the pit lane is going to start getting a little bit nervous. He might decide to jump in that car and get back out there again. been a bit early for him to call it a day, I have to say. This is good, though, on board Vincent Abriel. This is now turn 6, long turn 6. Easy to make a mistake there through turn 7, and he's 1.5 tenths up on that pole time through the first sector. Down the start, finish straight he comes. You can see the other AF Corsica that's running in the AM class just ahead. Down towards turn number 8. He's getting a little bit out of shape on the brakes, take a lot of curve through that, and that was perfect through the chicane. This is a good lap, this, from Vincent Abriel, as he now charges up towards turn number 10. So far, so good, and he's still up. Just over a tenth up now is the 25-year-old as he comes through turn number 10 and up towards turn number 11. His debut season, this, in the International GT Open. He's already had a win so far. Could he put himself on to take another? Heading now up towards turn number 12. He goes. All he has to do is just keep it clean now. Ricard Chavez, he was quick through the final sector though. We go back on board now with Vincent Abriel, round turn number 13. Seems good so far, just having to control the car there through 14, but got himself a good line for turn 15, and now he heads down to the start-finish straight. Is he going to be able to go quicker? Let's see. The time to beat is 1:59.9. Oh, and he's just, how close was that? 1:59.956. 42 thousandths of a second off was Vincent Abriel. Oh, in fact, he's gone quicker, hasn't he? Abriel's gone quicker, so it's Ricard Chavez, apologies, who was 42 thousandths off. So Vincent Abriel just about snatching pole position away there from Ricard Chavez. Brilliant stuff from Vincent Abriel, 1:59.956. This is Lazarus Racing. Oh, is this the number 20? Oh, and that's a spin there for Yannick Mettler. And that sums up the weekend so far for Lazarus. It's not been good for them. Now, Yannick Mettler is currently 3rd. Stefano Coletti is 7th. There we can see the Teo Martin car leading this train. There's Optimum in the 72, who was 2nd yesterday. Nick Moss is in for them. Down the field, Nick Moss is the AM driver in that class, but change of pole position right towards the end, and Ricard Chavez has come out of pit lane, so he's going for one more lap here. Ricard Chavez wants to try and get this pole position back if he can. A brilliant lap from Vincent Abriel to steal pole position away from Ricard Chavez, but there still is just under 90 seconds to go. This is Nick Moss, 3 seconds back, just needs to try and find a little bit of time here as he comes out of the final corner. On this lap, he's not going any quicker though. Heads up now down the start-finish straight. In the background, you can see the recovering Yannick Mettler after that spin. Stefano Coletti's in the pits. No improvement from Nick Moss. He stays down in 14th place, but he's going on to his final lap. Anyone crossing the line in the next 49 seconds will be going on to their final lap. Some will already be on their final laps. Ricard Chavez has started another lap. Is he going to be able to take that pole back for Vincent Abriel? Vincent Abriel, who will be putting himself in a position to go and take his 2nd win of the season. They had a late charge through the field yesterday to get themselves up into 4th place and 3rd in the Pro class. Weren't far away from an overall podium either, only just a couple of seconds back. And they are only 3 seconds back from this car. You can see in the picture now the Optimum Motorsport car of Nick Moss. Nick Moss quicker this time through the first sector, so he's on for a bit of an improvement potentially. Stefano Coletti's in, Valentin Pierrebuch's in, Brendan Irem's in, Nicky Luttweiler in, and the flag is now flying. No one yet to cross the line, but everyone who does come across the line now, that is going to be the end of the session. Nick Moss looks like he's on for an improvement. What about Ricard Chavez? Well, he's just under 2 tenths off Vincent Abriel through the first sector, so he's got work to do, has Ricard Chavez through the second 2 sectors. Abriel is out there setting a time as well, and he's not going quicker than himself, but he's going quicker than Ricard Chavez through the first sector. Moss up for a potential improvement here. 33.7 through the first sector, 36.6 is an impressive time actually through the second sector. Out of the final corner he comes, Enrique Chavez doesn't look likely to beat Abril unless he has a really good final sector. Where is this going to put yesterday's Pro-Am winners though? Nick Moss comes across the line. Is he going to be able to go up the grid at all? Yes, he does. He goes into the top 10. I think they'll be very happy with that. Nick Moss into 9th, and that is 3rd in class. This is yesterday's AM winners, and it is Florian Schultz and Jens Liebhaus. I just hesitated there because it seems to me that they're lifting off. Yes, they are, so they certainly aren't going at the pace that Mercedes should be going down the start-finish straight. Sally Ulick has also backed off on his final lap through the second sector. So that's basically it then. Enrique Chavez has already crossed the line. And he hasn't gone any quicker, although he did set a fastest 3rd sector, but just wasn't able to close the gap. He did a 2:01.112, so he was just over a 10th slower than his own personal best. It was the first 2 sectors that really hurt him, but the final sector he did go faster than anyone. But this is Jens Liebhauser and Florian Schultz, and Jens Liebhauser will be 2nd in class after Valentin Pierreberg will be lead AM car. So your results then, your pole sitters, Louis Pret and Vincent Abril, they go quickest on day 2, and they will start from the head of the field and will be looking to repeat that race 2 win that they got at the Hungaroring just a couple of weeks ago. Enrique Chavez and Miguel Ramos, joint championship leaders, will start alongside them on the front row.
Last lap!
Smiles there. Yannick Mettler and Yannick Mettler in the 26 will start from 3rd alongside Fabrizio Crestani. There you can see they left it fairly late, but Vincent Abril qualifies on pole position for AF Corsa APM Monaco. Enrique Chavez 2nd alongside him. Yannick Mettler, Lazarus desperately looking for a finish and their first podium as well. Yesterday's winners, Sally Ulick and Charlie Eastwood, will be 4th. Christian Hahn goes quickest in the Pro-Am class. Stefan Ortelli, 2nd of the Pro-Ams, will start directly alongside him. Stefano Coletti, looking for his first finish, will be 7th. Valentin Pierreberg, quickest of the AM drivers, will be on the outside of row number 4. Row number 5, the unbeaten Jens Liebhauser with Alexei Nezov, yesterday's 2nd place finishers. And then behind that, Brendan Iwib for Optimum Motorsport 11th, Nicky Luttweiler 12th, Patrick Koprinsky 13th, and after a deletion of his time, Nick Moss will be at the very back of the field. So that last time he did, he took track limits through turn 2. So the first chicane through the right obviously took either too much curb or ran too wide on the exit. His time deleted, so unfortunately Nick Moss is going to start from the very back of the field after that win in class yesterday. Well, here was your top 3 then. The number 26, Lazarus Racing, Yannick Mettler finishing in 3rd place. The team that really does need a good result. Neither of their cars finished yesterday, but they start 3rd. Joint championship leaders, Enrique Chavez and Miguel Ramos, will start on the front row as they continue their consistency this season. But starting from the front, looking to get another race 2 victory this season, it is Vincent Abril and Louis Pret after that late charge from Abril to steal pole from Enrique Chavez. Great qualifying session. Hope you enjoyed that one. The race will be coming up later on this afternoon. Do make sure you join us for that. It's going to be an absolute cracker. Is the race we have later on today here at Paul Ricard. We are going to be hearing, by the way, from our pole sitters very shortly. But do hope you enjoy us, but we'll go down now quickly and we will hear from our pole sitter, Vincent Abril.
Vincent Abril, it looked like a great performance this morning to take pole position for race 2. Can you explain the lap?
Yeah, thank you very much. It was, first of all, a huge thank you to the team, which worked quite a lot for between yesterday and today. We weren't very happy with the car yesterday in the race. We were very happy Friday, so we needed to find what was going on, and they worked really well to give me a great car. To be honest, it was the maximum out of the car. I could not do 100th more. You know, you always talk about the perfect lap. It never exists, but this was pretty close to it.
And how you see race 2?
Well, we don't have any time handicap from Budapest, which we cancelled yesterday. So this is a very good news. Obviously, in the race, it's a different story because we suffer a lot in the heat with the speed. Our competitors are quite quick. So in the pack, it's a bit difficult in the race. But starting from pole, it means you can try and put a bit of a gap and put your own pace. So we hope for a clean race and to keep going like this. But very happy, very happy.
And this is, of course, a home race for you, for Louis, for the team.
Absolutely. Although it's great that we're back to racing. We miss all the fans that come every time here. It's a busy race. But I'm sure they're watching from home and appreciate that we start from pole as our home race. So yeah, very happy, very happy.
Well done. Bravo.
Thank you.
Can they take victory on home soil? Find out. Live coverage begins here from Paul Ricard at 2 local time. We'll see you then.